From Bolero Mesa here for the title matches of today's JBT tournament. It's the Arizona Baker doubles on memorialized LeBron Leach while we're at it.
They sound like a broken.
We missed Beezy, but we're proud of the teams we got right now. And the top seeded team of Caden Henk and London Reyes is on the lane right now. It's Baker. They're combining to form one team game. This is Caden. So you have fourth frame. They each missed a 9 count in the previous shot, and they'll have a cluster to shoot at this time. They're getting 22 pins, and the Mesa team of Max Diaz-Gonzalez and Caden Rose have to win by 22 to tie, 23 to win. They just won by more than 16, getting past Kristen and Connor Maliska, a mother-son team, in a close battle there, and the Maliskas got by Everett Parker and Jeremy Lorenzo to open up the handicap finals. Hank at that 1-3-6. It's close, but it's going to go to the left. Third open in a row for Caden and London, but they're getting the pin, so the match is still close early. In the scratch division, just getting started. That's the first frame big 4 for Josh Malloy. He's happy to get that out of the way. And his partner Nick Barrio taking on the veteran Vegans. Sorrel Cardina is back yet again. Sorrel and Andrew are really like bacteria. You cannot get rid of these two. Sorrel's aged out, and we keep seeing him. Andrew was MIA for a while, and now we keep seeing him. Great to see Sorrel back on our camera, wrapped up with that emotional TPC victory back in August. To finish up with 22 career titles, but he's going to start likely open on a deteriorating middle road pattern that played difficult all day long. Pattern is one thing, surface is another, who's on your pair, all these things. Theo's adult tournament club used this same pattern at a different bowling center last week, and the scores were through the roof. Today the scores were medium to low, so all kinds of variables go into pattern plays. And it's not Snorlax, but it's his also trusty Purple Hammer, which almost converts that, so it's a 2-pin lead with split opens. Max doing all the odd-numbered frames for his team as the tricky 2-7 to convert, and makes it the hard way. Well done. His partner, Caden, needed a good shot in the 10th frame. He had his glasses on, threw it right in the gutter at 20 feet, whipped the glasses over to the table, and then went spare strike to get the win for his team. I haven't seen if he put them back on yet or not. Caden, and then Gooba will be coming right in after him. Oh, great break for Rose, tripping out the 4-9, and Gooba trips the 4. Dueling trip 4s, Rose had a 9 added in there for good measure. He gets the strike, and again, the difference is 22, and they lead by 12, so still a close match. Here's the other Caden. It's a Caden versus Caden battle for one of the half of the team, and he's got the same spare, that 1-3-6 to shoot at. Huge thanks to Jody and Tiffany and the whole team here at Bolero Mesa for having us. They just do such a fantastic job. Hosting us, so happy for them to be here. Barrio in front of the ball return. We saw this last weekend in Seattle with Duke Knudsen doing it. Barrio, similar tactics. Thumb out instead of thumb in. Had a pretty ball there. He struck in the first ball in the 10th frame of the first match to be here, beating Clay Reeves and Caitlin Abagana with that 10th frame strike. Then they had an easier time against fellow Lopes, Matadrania, and Connor. I knew I'd do that. Sharton. Josh, a 10-time winner. He and Brock both had a race towards the 10 title club. They both got there. First here's London Reyes. He's a JBT champ already, winning back at Kyrene earlier this season. A pretty good shot. Gets him a 9 count. Malloy doesn't get the ball up the hill and leaves the old bucket and fries. Last week we had that lead with a 10-pin. The bucket, fries, and a Coke. That's a real DOA ball right there. Well, we start each JBT event with Make Your Spares, and all 4 bowlers right now just trying to piece together a mark. Max did spare that 2-7 in his last frame as Josh converts the 5 count. It was on a strike, so just as good as a 9 spare for Malloy, and Max, oh man, throws a great ball in the solid 8 stands. Yikes. Great turnout, 76 teams got started earlier today. Just 8 players remaining going for that elusive first title. Neither Max nor Caden has one. Max's best finish is second, Caden's is third. Got to make these 9 counts though. The 9 dashes are the ones that really hurt. And he's going to get it. Well done. Sorrell, just like Nick, on the right-hand lane, and these teammates choose which lane to have each bowler on. Sorrell, just like Nick, very comfortable in front of the ball return. When you have that much power, you do it all the time. And flushes that ball 10 down. Grabs the lead with that. Sorrell won the last 5 tournaments of his JBT career, almost tying Dallas Leon's record of 6. No, another trip 4. Boy, those 4 pins are falling. And yes, can confirm it is still glasses off. Blind as a wallaby, but putting the ball right in the pocket. I have no idea if wallabies are actually blind or not. We'll have to look. Can someone Wikipedia a wallaby and find out if they're actually blind? I have no idea. Caden's left the 1-3-6 the last 2 times. Oh, he could leave it again. Nope, that time he grazes that head pin and leaves the 3. We're looking up wallaby right to my left. We will have information for you shortly. Andrew starting way at the back of the approach. Look at this. Fluid arm swing. Beautiful. Really? How did I pull that out of my wallaby? I promise you, I had no idea. Oh, gross. Oh. There, Hank finally gets that spare. That's an 8-frame spare already. These Baker games go very fast. Again, a 22-pin difference. As it stands, it's a nice try, London. 39-pin lead. So, meanwhile, another tough spare for Guba to deal with. Makeable though. It's close. Oh, you bet. Great spare for Andrew and a big shot for London, but it goes to the left again. If they can come back and win this game, that would be a statistical anomaly, because last week up in Seattle, Kenji London won the tournament. So we got a London Reyes trying to win after that. Abigail London down here as well. But England lost in World Cup, so it doesn't really follow. This is a tough spare. It's hard to carry out that back pin with everything else. It's going to give it a whirl, though. No, it's going to the left, as missed shots often do in title matches. Working on a spare, Barrio. You see the arm swing will start first, a little backward shuffle step to get the rhythm and timing. Nice follow through. Almost rolled it all. They can just about ice it with the strike here. Don't get the strike, but still in good position here if they can spare up the 4-7. Nick will go back and use the full approach this time. Go hard and straight. Last time Nick was on the show, I was giving him an awful hard time for missing his spares in Denver. Oh no. Oh, and I can't even get the words out of my mouth before. It's a 9 out for scratch and an 8 out for handicap. Again, the difference is 22. So give the other team 120 through 9. So it's still a 22-pin lead. They're still in really good shape. So the best the other team can do is 150. So 9 pins on 2 balls will win the tournament for Caden and Max. That'll do it. Boy, and things deteriorating over here in scratch all of a sudden as the look seems to be going away for just about everybody. That is the 1-2-4th split between the two teams already through 4.5 frames. The parent doesn't realize it, but he's got it even with the spare. 151 is good enough for a 1-pin win. This is close. Oh, good try at the split. Great spare shooter. Hank will finish up in the 10th. I'm never happy if Bowler doesn't strike, but it would have been heartbreaking for them to get all 3 and find out they lost by 1 in that case. Max and Caden have been in this spot that they're in now too before. These title matches are totally different. I'm back here talking about you. Everybody's watching you. It takes a couple events of experience to get used to that title match scenario, but they'll wrap up their career high finishes in 2nd place each. Nice scholarship prize. They're in the Arizona Invitational at the end of the season. And a lot of good experience for next time. That's all right, guys. Tough finish for Hank and Reyes, but finally getting over the hump without any bribes at all to the tournament director. He can see clearly now he has a title. Contacts and glasses. Congrats to all 4 of those finalists. Very well done over there. Did you just flip? Would you? Yeah, that is the flip of victory. That was awesome. That was very cool.
Matt, it's your turn. Don't do it.
All right, Gooba's team is leading in the match by 33, and they will not increase that lead. And another difficult spare. Wow. This pair has gone to toast with some skid points, apparently. It's either toast or 210. That's an ugly combination right there. Well done, all 4 of you. We'll do awards as soon as this game's over. You can hang out for 2 minutes.
Did you get a trophy?
You get the biggest plaque I got.
Can I get a sticker?
Absolutely.
I want a sticker.
You can all have stickers.
Stickers.
Gotta look at time. No. Andrew just begging that ball to turn over sooner. It doesn't. And the match closes back down. 104 through 6 is good for a 19-pin lead as it stands. As you see, the struggle on both sides. It's Andrew and Sorrell. That's Nick and Josh. Anybody's game. Who can figure out what is going on this pattern, on this pair of lanes quickly enough? So where do you go? Where you're standing where Nick already is? I feel like that's maybe a board or 2 left, even more. He can go as far left as he needs to. I'm sure he can do 10 more boards if he really wanted to. Oh, nice ball. If the spares aren't coming, just get them all down the first time. Pretty shot from Nick. Gets that light hit to carry, keeps his team in control, and a good chance to come back. It's a 32 pins, but the opponent already opened in the 6 to make it 22. If Malloy can figure out a way to strike, it is suddenly a 12-pin game. The moves on our tour are so tough because there's so many games played. Handicap is on top of scratch. You gotta be on top of everything, and that's a real nice shot from Josh. Just doesn't carry that half 10. Nick is raw power, Josh is raw accuracy. More than one way to do it. And right now the half 10 doesn't topple, but his team will carve it down to a 21-pin lead, or deficit rather. He will trail by 21 if he converts this 10, is what I tried to say. And he does, and they do. Marks are valuable for Sorrell and Gooba. Every time they mark, the other team's got to catch up, double to catch up, and that suddenly looks very challenging to do. Sorrell has struck in the 5th, struck in the 3rd, and split in the 1st. So last 2 shots have been good. Can he make it 3 in a row? Posts it, and it holds. Yes. Quiet reaction from Sorrell. Sometimes you get a lot of noise out of Sorrell, sometimes you don't. That was a calm version of Sorrell. Andrew wouldn't get a lot of noise off of if he shot 1,500 for 5. About as steady a comportment as they come. Big shot to re-extend to a 30-pin advantage for the resurgent Andrew Gooba. Won his first scratch title in 12 years earlier this season, won another one since. He'd love to get 3, but that ball's got a wheel and it doesn't get there, and another split. This time the 2-4-10. He already made the 3-4. Obviously a good split shooter. He hasn't really been over in that part of the lane, so this is going to be guesswork. Or take your hand totally out of the ball and just be accurate as heck. That's what he does. No, too far over, an open 8th frame, and the plot thickens some more. Because we got an I don't want it, you take it over scenario over here. Nick might have the best look out of all 4 of them. So, there too. So really the two-handers in front of the ball return have the best look. And right now it's a 7-pin game. Taking a lot of time. Shoulders were good. And the result is good as well. Nick is the bowler that they have chosen to have finish in the 10th. And it looks like he's got the right idea on that lane. In fact, strike, 9-out, strike, strike. So yeah, he's pretty dialed in on his lane. Now it's come on, teammate, come on. Don't always have to shoot 260 to win matches. Match play competition, just beat your opponent. For the lead. There it is. Wow. You don't win 10 titles without being clutch when you need it the most. Malloy's work is done, barring a tie, which we've already had once today. The lead is theirs heading into the 10th. Can Sorrell and Andrew take it back? Shoulders are still. The result is pretty. Wow. But whereas Barrio, who looks as lined in as Sorrell, is doing the 10th, Sorrell's work is done. And we'll leave it in the hands of the junior. The barely junior, by the way. This is Andrew's last year. One of the feel-good stories of the year for finally breaking through for that title for one of the nicest kids on tour. And right now, forget nice. It is competition. He'll be nice if he wins, but every ounce of his being is going to try and figure out a way to strike here. They can't shut out their opponents. Everything Andrew does, his opponent will have to do. Oh, man, what a nice ball.
Hey, good shot.
Boy, he threw that well, and just an inopportune time for a ringing 10 there. Man. Well, match is far from over. Spare up here and fill as much as you can. Remember, the other team's working on the double, so every pin that Nick theoretically loses is 2 pins a count. First things first, got to cover this 10, which he does. Vitally important fill ball here coming up. We'll peek at our scoreboard. Thanks again to I Am Bowling for all they do to sponsor our tour. $5,000 split between all bowlers wearing I Am apparel and the title matches. More if you win, more if you have the full JBT I Am jersey. Andrew and Sorrell went holiday style, that's understandable. Not a little asterisk for that. The others went GCU style. All 10 puts all the pressure on Nick. Boy, it looked about as good as the last one. That made it faced up just a hair earlier. Solid 10th frame. Nick Barrio does not have a JBT title. He's the only one in this foursome who doesn't. If he would like to remedy that, got a number of different ways to do it. A strike wins. 9 spare 9 wins. 8 spare strike wins. Less than that, we got issues. If they tie, we do a 1-shot roll-off. Not 1 shot per bowler, 1 shot. What a moment for Barrio. For it all. He loves it. Oh, man!
Pick it up, Nick. Pick it up.
Well, he didn't lose the tournament, but he thought for all the world he won the tournament. He threw it great. Solid 9, but he's still in control of this. First things first, get the spare. And then we'll talk about the fill ball. What a nice shot. Gotta have it, gotta have it. No. No. Oh, no. 9 out in the 10th is disastrous. Nick, we feel for you, buddy. He's a super nice kid as well. That is a tough one to swallow for that team, but elation and relief for the Bagans, Sorrell and Andrew, as they come from behind to take that win. His Antelope teammates are going to pick him up. That's what good teammates do. You win as a team and goes the other way as a team too. I'm a Tampa fan, I understand that. Heartbreak at the finish, but 4 really good finalists. We'll give out the awards. We'll do this all over again, team style, tomorrow. Man, you just never know in this game.